graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
You know, I've been from one side of this fandom to the other. In all that time, I have seen a lot of things. Above all that, there is one thing I am absolutely certain of. I am the villain of this story.
Long live the fighters!
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. Good morning, Purple Valkyrie. Purple Valkyrie is here with us today. Good morning.
Good morning, boss. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. This is the end of the week. Everything is going crazy. Everyone has gone crazy. Everybody is ready for that long weekend this weekend. And I hope everyone out there is going to have a safe one. Chris Persia, the wrench of wrenches, is here. Mark, the infinitely tired, the newest wrench here in Valhalla. Good morning, Mark. Samantha Joe, and of course, the other half of Tag Team Valkyrie, Purple Valkyrie, are here this morning. Lady Miss, the guardian of the void, is here. Gun Bunny and Humor and Waffles, good morning. Good morning, Dee Dee Myers and Adega Outlaw, the doctor of disaster and destruction, the author of Evolution. Adega Outlaw is here, ladies and gentlemen. Pat S., good morning. Good morning, everyone. Keely Chow, roll tide. Keely, roll tide. Good morning. Colin P. Smith. Oh, man, good morning. All the members are here. Man, good morning, everyone. I hope you all have had a great week. We already got a super chat from Psychodorf 9. I can't scroll back and get it, unfortunately, but I can read it out. It says, Marin may not comment. Got to put furniture back over freshly waxed floors before my DV walks through. Thank you so very much for that $5 super chat, Psychodorf 9. And good morning, brother. I hope everyone out there is having a kick-ass morning this morning. Darth Haster, good morning. Good morning, Darth. And I hope everybody's having a good one. And we're going to talk about toys. I know we usually have the Director's Series on Friday, but man, everybody was out for something. Dave G Sound, good morning. Good morning, brother. Everybody was out for something this morning. I know Loriana had dentist. Josh had work. Dave Bob, of course, has taken time off for family, which is what I'm going to do this weekend. Everything just kind of crashed this Friday. So I figured, you know what? It's been a while since we talked about toys. And it's been a while since we talked about the toys we loved. And I know, man, I had so many kick-ass toys and so many toys I wanted that I never got. that like now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping an eye out. Screw it. I'm keeping an eye out. And if I see it, I'm going to get one.
Yes, that's the beautiful thing about being an adult now. You can buy all the toys that you didn't have when you were a kid.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Humor and Wobbles get as in here. Oh, and talk about toys. Man, so what was something you had? What was something you had? And guys, throw them out there in chat. Throw out something you had or something you wanted. Please throw them out.
Well, actually, obviously, growing up in the 80s was the best time for toys, best time for movies as well. But toys, we had things like G.I. Joe, we had Transformers, we had He-Man, which was my favourite. Loved the Masters of the Universe and She-Ra. And then it kind of rolled into things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I also had My Little Pony. Don't judge me. I did.
No, I'm not going to judge you at all. I had a ton of He-Man stuff, and Pat S says, Loki, you're such a big fan of Godzilla. Please tell me you have played with him as a Shogun warrior. No, I hadn't. No, I did not get Godzilla stuff when I was a kid. Even though I watched it, even though I loved it, I did not get any Godzilla stuff when I was a kid. So when they came out with this series that was like dedicated to the movies, I got a couple of them. I got like Mothra and Godzilla. I've got Meltdown Godzilla. I've got a couple of different Godzillas now, and Mothra. And I'm still looking because I want a Mecha King Ghidorah. That's not easy to find. A Mecha King Ghidorah and a Mecha Godzilla, a really good Mecha Godzilla. But yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Humor and Waffles. I wish I had all my toys back at all the Teenage Mutant. Oh, you got a Tila.
Got Tila. Then we got
Skeletor.
Battle Damage Skeletor. We got Evelyn. Stacking all these up. Orko,
yeah, you could pull that and make him like.
It does, yeah, it still does it, I think.
Holy crap.
If I can make it. Yeah, so he still spins.
Wow.
I'm going to lie him down, because if I put him down, he's going to fall off the desk.
Adega, I would play with the toys the same way I did as a kid. Gunpowder, model rocket engines, and model cars. Crash, boom. Yes, Adega. I can't believe I blew up most of my Star Wars toys.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, with firecrackers and M80s and all that. Yeah, I was that kid.
Oh,
I was that kid for a while. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make stuff blow up. I'm going to put my G.I. Joes in, real battle damage. And yeah.
G.I. Joe's always got blown up, from what I've heard. I don't think any G.I. Joe made it out of the 80s if it wasn't still in the box. God.
I floated the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier. That lasted about 10 seconds. I was like, you know what? We're going to get it out in the pool. We'd say it was a 3-man operation to get that thing out to the pool, and then it sank to the bottom of the pool.
How big was this thing?
It was big. It went from one side of the room to the other.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I didn't realize it was that big. I was thinking,
no, and this was like corner to corner. This was corner to corner, not side to side. It wouldn't fit side to side. You had to get it in there corner to corner.
Wow. And it still sank.
And it still sank. Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Do you remember the G.I. Joe F-14 Tomcat?
Mm-hmm.
You could land that. You could land that on the carrier like it was like supposed to be there. It was the right size. It was sized perfectly so that you could land the G.I. Joe F-14 Tomcat on the deck of the carrier.
Oh my god. I didn't realise it was that big. I've seen pictures of it, but I've never seen one in person.
Oh yeah. Let me see if I can.
While you do that, let me pull up the last couple of ones. So we've got the original Battle Cat.
Oh, look at that.
And I can grab him without dropping him. Ample, who's seen better days because a lot of his fur's coming off.
Yes. I used to have both of those. I don't remember ever having the seat. I know I must have at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But
So I thought he had a helmet as well, the purple one, but I don't think he did. I think he just had the saddle. If he does, I couldn't find it.
let's see. Open this. Yeah, you're gonna love this. Because I mean, you're like, oh, well, that's like multiple. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Oh my god. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's way bigger than I remember.
Yeah, so you've got the F-14 there. You got two of the GI Joe jets there. You've got the helicopter. I mean, that's how big this thing was. It was massive. It was absolutely massive. So if you got all your stuff out and you put it on the deck of this carrier, it was just, yeah, it was nuts. And these gun emplacements, they would pop off in the water. So once this thing sank, it's like everything detached and you just had pieces of it everywhere in the pool. And the inside this, there's decks. So it's not just like, oh, cool, you can put stuff on top of it. There are decks inside this with places you can put GI Joes inside under the deck. Under the airplane deck, there are places where you can like put guys.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So is this one that you'd like to reacquire, or is it just?
Oh my God. I'd have nowhere to put it. It'd be like the centerpiece of my living room. It would end up, the centerpiece. So it's the talking piece. What is that? Oh, that's the GI Joe aircraft carrier, the USS Flag. Oh my. Low-key, you have the aircraft carrier in your living room. Yes, oh yes, it's the centerpiece.
Doesn't everybody? Yeah.
Doesn't everyone? Everyone has the USS Flag, right? Yeah, it's insane.
So dunking it in the water, did that damage it? Because obviously these have got stickers and kind of vinyls on. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then sitting out in the sun to dry. Yes. Yeah, it wasn't the smartest move. But I was a teenager and I was like, screw it. I want to see it float. They all float. So let's float.
Spoiler alert, it didn't float. No,
it didn't float. Absolutely didn't float. But that was like the coolest thing, to have that. No one else had that. There wasn't anybody else had that. And it was like, kids had GI Joe collections, right? Well, we had a long driveway, a very long driveway that went out in the street, and it would go back into the garage. The garage would be like behind the house. So you literally had the driveway that went all the way up beside the house and then behind the house into the back. Kids would have their GI Joe collections. I would have a driveway full of GI Joes. And it was like if I got everything outside, it was nuts. It was like everybody brought their GI Joes over, and it enhanced what I had. It didn't like there wasn't anybody that could dwarf GI Joe. And I don't know if that's because I had a father in the military. I don't know. I don't know if it's just he liked GI Joes and was like, I'm gonna get the boys some GI Joes. But if there was something that came out for GI Joe, I had it. It wasn't. Yeah. That was to the detriment of everything else, because it was like, hey, can I get this mask? No. Can I get this Optimus? No. Can I get this Deceptor? No. What about this GI Joe? You already have one.
See, I thought Transformers would have been a kind of good segue into them, because still vehicles, it still would have kind of matched in with GI Joe, and there was obviously a GI Joe Transformers crossover.
No, I wish. But I was lucky. Everything GI Joe I could possibly have, I had. And I know kids that didn't have shit. So, Ensign Ricky, I had Metroplex. When I was a kid, if you had Metroplex, it was considered the top tier of status. Yes, among kids at the time, Metroplex was the Transformer. Yeah, nobody had Metroplex. Nobody had the aircraft carrier. There was another thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
No one had the oil rig. There was a G.I. Joe oil rig base, and no one had that either. It was like one of the hard things to find. I don't know if they just didn't make that many of them or
Mm-hmm.
what, but it
I've
was
never heard
like,
of that.
yeah. And some people were like, oh, where did that come from? It's G.I. Joe. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's totally. I'll let's see. G.I. Joe oil. Yeah, oil rig platform.
So, do you have any of your original G.I. Joe left?
Nope.
Oh.
No, it's all gone. It is all, yeah, it's all gone. Let's see.
Who was your favorite character?
In G.I. Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Duke. It had to be Duke.
Duke was cool.
But later, and that was when I was a kid. Later, it was Snake Eyes.
Ah.
Yeah, it was like you've got to do Snake Eyes.
I always liked Baroness. You can't beat Baroness.
I would have figured you for a Scarlet.
Scarlet, yeah, Scarlet was cool too.
That is the oil rig. That was the oil rig, and like it
Never
had
seen that before.
a helicopter landing pad, a crane, a gun, a missile launcher, and a little like holding pen.
Cool. Yeah, never knew that existed. That's a new one.
And the Cobra Terradome, that's another thing no one had that I had. Some people had the base, the G.I. Joe base, and we would set up like multiple versions of that, like you'd have the G.I. Joe Prime headquarters, and then you had like the other bases that were the same base, but you're a kid, so whatever. But nobody had the Terradome either. And that was one of the cool things I loved to have. That had like a jet that came out of the top of it. And yeah, Ricky, I had a full Voltron. That is one thing I had. I got that for Christmas one year because I love Voltron. I think I was like 5 or 6. It was when I was still in California before we moved to Texas. I had a full Voltron, and I got like that whole thing. I had the lions and the cars.
Nice.
The fake G.I. Joe PSAs. They're a few years old, but still funny. No, I haven't. I will look up those. Humor and Waffles. I will look up those and check those out. Duke and Snake Eyes, Dee Myers. Yeah, Duke and Snake Eyes. Yeah.
Looks like we've got a lot of G.I. Joe fans in the chat.
The Mexican Iron Man, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning. G.I. Joe wasn't as big a thing over here. We only really knew it from the cartoon. I think we had some of the toys, but we definitely never had any of these great big play sets that you guys had. I think we probably had some of the vehicles as well. But yeah, it just wasn't as big other than the cartoon, I think.
And the cartoon was so great. And, it wasn't, G.I. Joe never felt like a walking, talking toy commercial. It always had a good story. It was always a good story. It wasn't just about like, oh, here's the new toy of the week. It was, and Thundercats was like that too. I had all the Thundercats stuff.
Funny you should mention that. I've actually got a Thundercats over there.
Really?
Let me see if I can grab her.
Yeah, Ensign Ricky, I had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain too. I love the fact that Snake Mountain had the microphone that you could be like, whoa.
I would have killed to have had Snake Mountain. That's the one of the things I didn't have. But there she is.
Oh wow!
Hold
on 1 second. Give me 1 second. I am so sorry, guys. Someone's banging on my door this morning.
And just to prove you guys that I did actually have a pony, there she is. Looking a little bit worse for wear, but yeah. Didn't have many of them, but this one was pretty cute. So I think I did have one more. I think it was pink, or it might have been blue, but this is the only one I could find. And then the weirdest toys that I had, I don't know whether you guys even had them over here. They were called boglins. So they were kind of like these puppets that you put your hand into, and they had these really weird kind of synthetic skin. It felt almost real. And when you put your hand up inside them, I'll grab him in a minute, you could kind of move the eyes from side to side and then control the mouth. So that was pretty cool. But apparently they were bigger over in Europe than they were in the US. So let me just grab him and I can show him you as well. Oh, this thing is filthy. Right, let me pull that back up. There he is. So that is my boglin.
I am so sorry about that, everyone. They are pressure washing my door this morning. So, bleach.
Did you have these?
What is that?
That is a boglin boss. I was telling the chat. I think they were bigger over in Europe than they were in the US, but I was wondering if you guys ever had these. So you could move the eyes from side to side.
No, I never had those.
Move the mouth.
That is so cool.
And it feels really weird. It's almost realistic skin. But for some reason, I just love this thing. And they even had baby boglins.
We never had that. I don't ever remember seeing those. If someone in America knows that we had those, please, tell me. But I don't ever remember those. I don't think that's something we had here. At least I never saw it. It's like seeing Teddy Ruxpin for the first time.
Oh God, Teddy Ruxpin. God, that takes me back. I never had one of those because I never liked that it moved its mouth.
and eyes and head, and it had like a Gumby sidekick that was creepy as hell. Gesture of Sin with a 5-pound super chat. Had all the He-Man toys growing up. Battle Cat was my favorite one. Came with both saddle and helm. Taking them off made him cringer. Yes. Yes, it did.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Gesture of Sin. Dave Bob with a $5 super chat. I want to thank my Valhalla family for your love and support. Dave Bob, we love you, brother.
We do, Dave Bob.
Thank you so much, guys. Dave Bob lost a family member. Dave Bob lost his mom recently, and Valhalla sent some flowers and a card because we love our brother Dave Bob. And brother, we love you. We hope you're doing okay right now. We do.
We do.
Thank you so much for being here, Dave Bob, for popping in. Mags with the $20 super chat. Thank you so very much, Mags. My older brothers had Barbie-sized G.I. Joes. One time on a long ass trip to New Jersey to visit family, out of boredom, they stripped them naked, hung them in the back window of the van. People were laughing as they were driving by. Holy shit. I never thought about that. I never thought about doing that. You couldn't do that with the ones that we had because we have the smaller ones. I think I only had one big one, and that was when I was a teenager, and that was Snake Eyes. My dad was like, "Oh, look, these are the old ones that you never had." And I was like, "That sucks. Oh, that's badass Snake Eyes." So I got the Snake Eyes one and had him as just like on a shelf.
Yes, those I remember because I think they actually had kind of like felt hair, if I remember correctly. They were a lot more detailed.
Yeah, except for Snake Eyes, he didn't have shit. He had like a mask and a helmet, and yeah. Vincent Ricky G.I. Joes had the best posable limbs on a toy, period. I love mixing and matching different Joes and piecing them together like a Cobra Commander head on a Zartan body with Storm Shadow arms. No, I never did that. I blew them up, but I never did that. I'm so sorry. I have indigestion this morning. I have indigestion every morning lately, it seems. Boglins. Speaker remembers Boglins. I know. I never saw that. I never saw them. I don't know if that was just like we won't have them in Texas thing because they did shit like that. Yeah, Texas did shit like that.
I know they were definitely bigger in Europe because they lasted a lot longer into the 90s. I think they came out late 80s. But it's just one of those kind of weird, obscure toy lines.
Mark the Infinitely Tired, one of my sister's Barbies may have been converted into Chaos Cultist Barbie.
See, Barbies I never had very many of. I think I only had 2 or 3. But the one I do remember was the one that had the really long hair down to her ankles. I think she had a haircut at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think she ended up with kind of like a bob.
Oh, wow. In Psychodorf 9, I just had 1,100 Legos. You know what? I had like a crate of Legos, but I never had like any of the cool kits. Like, you know, I go to the store now and I'll see like an X-Wing or an A-Wing, and I'm like, dude, those are so cool. I never had shit like that. I just had like a box of generic Legos.
We didn't have many. I think we had the pirate ship and we had the Robin Hood, kind of like a treehouse thing. It was like a cross between a castle and a treehouse. But Lego's exploded over the past decade. And like you say, there's so many franchises now with Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. I'd really like Bilbo's Hobbit home set. That would be really cool to have.
So, Gun Bunny says Grandpa hated Ken. So at his house, his office had G.I. Joes and wouldn't allow us to bring Ken dolls. Have you heard the latest about the Ken dolls?
No, what's happening with the Ken dolls?
Well, apparently Barbie and Ken got a divorce. She got a new house. She got a house. She got the house, and now he comes in a new box. Oh, Loki did it. Loki dropped the bomb this morning.
Loki went there. Thank you, Loki. Managed to do it while I was drinking as well. That's my own fault.
Loki had a pink Barbie Thunderbird car, named it Kit after the car in Knight Rider. Oh. Oh, I don't think anybody got that. They're like, huh? What? Question, can you remember playing with toys together at the same time that were from different franchises? Yes. I had Battlestar Galactica Vipers that I played with my G.I. Joes. I never considered that important. Even now, I've got a shelf in this room that's got, let's see, we've got Power Rangers, we've got Voltron, we've got Transformers, we've got Predator, specifically the Predator from Predator 2. We've got Godzilla, we've got Farscape, we've got the Doom guy. I've got all kinds of shits, Mortal Kombat characters. So it's never ever been important to me to group. I guess I'm just not, you know.
You just collect what appeals rather than, you know, keep everything separate. That's kind of cool. No, Mark, we did that.
For whatever reason, Mark, I never got to play with shit that fired missiles. Like my Voltron set, guess what? I never got the weapons that fired anything. It's like those mysteriously disappeared from the packaging. I needed my mother to thank for that.
So you had the figures, but none of the things that fired out of them.
Yeah, none of the stuff that fired until I was older. Yeah. I remember I once took a whole bunch of Legos and made the Enterprise bridge for my TOS action because I wish I had, and that would have been cool.
That was cool. I love
Barbie
Legos.
is now in a lesbian relationship with Cindy, and Ken is now a Barbie simp.
Yes, it kind of brings up a good point. We had Cindy here. She was kind of like the British version of Barbie and became as popular. She wasn't quite as successful.
And Gesture of Sin, a divorced Barbie comes with all of Ken's accessories now. Okay. I wish I had Voltron toys. Watch this show growing up was my favorite. Having the Voltron stuff was like, yeah, nobody had Voltron. I even had the sword like you could have the sword. I had both swords. Let's see, what all swords did I have? I had Voltron, both the Voltron swords. I had the He-Man sword. I had the Sword of Omens. Of course, I had the Snake Eyes swords. I had 2 white swords, but I don't think they were. Who's the guy that was against Snake Eyes?
Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow. I don't think they were. I think they were just 2 like white ninja swords. I don't remember, but to me they were Storm. I have Storm Shadow swords too, man. Yeah, so it was like, whatever grouping you could get, but having the Voltron swords, that was some shit that just nobody else on the block had. That they might have had a He-Man sword, they didn't have like the Voltron sword. You come out and you're like dun 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 dun, Born blazing sword. Dun, dun, da, 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 da.
I would have loved to have had the Sword of Omens. I'd still love to have the Sword of Omens. I'd put it up on the wall.
Mark says, I had the LJN original Go Lion Voltron and the one that came out in the mid-90s that Rob Liefeld put out. I don't remember that one. I don't remember the one in the 90s. I just remember the original 2, the Car Voltron and the Lions. But yeah, Go Lion. I would learn later that Voltron was Go Lion. And I was like, oh, that totally makes sense, because they're always like, Go Lions! Dun, dun, Born Voltron, Go Lions! X-Men, G.I. Joe, Mask. I got some X-Men's late in my childhood life. I think it was like 9 or 10 when I got some X-Men's. I had like the Cyclops that his eyes lit up. That was my dad's favorite.
We had that. And we had the Gambit with the weird plastic coat that he used to wear.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I never got Robotech or Gundam. I didn't know anything about that until later, because it wasn't until I was in my teens that I was like, holy shit, I love anime. I love Ninja. I love, Ninja Scroll, and I love Gundam and Robotech. And what are all these cool things? My dad would grumble, "This stupid Japanese show." watching that subtitled crap.
Have some G.I. Joe. That's what you need.
Yeah. Remember Captain Power? Yes, Ensign Ricky, Captain Power, and the soldiers of the future. Earth 2147, the legacy of the Metal Wars, when man fought machine and machines won. Biodreads, monstrous creations that would hunt down human survivors and digitize them. But from the fires of the Metal War arose a new breed of warrior. Yes, I remember.
That's a yes then.
That's a yes. Oh, Robotech and Gundam, love those shows too, among others. I guess I have internalized misogyny for liking boys' toys. My girls are the same way. One of my girls called me up the other day and was like, Dad, I just watched Optimus Prime die in Transformers the movie, and it still makes me cry. I'm like, it's okay. I get a tear too watching it. Me too. You know what?
It's okay.
Prime, you can't die. Do not grieve, Daniel. And you're like, oh my God, I'm crying again. 40 years later, every time. Little did they know that they would just rip every child's heart out. I've talked about that before, being in the theater with my dad, and my dad watching the kids like exit the theater in tears, like, and he's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah. Fine. Do you want to go? No, I want to see what happens. All right.
Breaks your heart when he turns grey. It's like,
oh yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah, dun 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 dun. Oh man, do not grieve. One will rise to light our darkest hour. Oh my God.
But it was Rodimus.
Answer, arise, Rodimus Prime. Optimus. You know what? At the time, it was like, that was great. And then season 3 of Transformers started, and you were like, no.
He sucks.
You know, at the time you were like, yeah, because it was like the endorsement. Because Optimus gave him the endorsement. Because you heard Optimus. Arise, Rodimus Prime. Optimus, you've got the touch. Everything was going to be okay. And then Optimus didn't come back to life, and you were like, no, this show sucks. And then of course, they bring him back to life because they had to.
Had to, yeah. Because it was tanking.
The Mask gas station. See, I didn't get to play with Mask. That was like one of the things. No, you don't get to play with Mask.
Why not Mask? What was wrong with Mask?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. I had a buddy that had all that shit, and it was like, nope. You don't get any. Nope. And I'm like, so it was like, he'd be like, hey, I see you got some really cool G.I. Joe stuff. And I'd be like, hi, I see you got some really cool Mask stuff. Want to trade for a little bit? Sure. I'd play with Mask stuff. He'd play with my G.I. Joe stuff. And so it was like, no, you don't need any of that stuff. You already have vehicles coming out your ass.
Yeah. Have some more G.I. Joe, Loki.
Yeah, have some more G.I. Joe. But it was like, man.
I do have one more thing that I can grab off the shelf that I think you might like.
Yeah.
Let me just go grab it. God, I forgot how awkward this thing is. They're a lot bigger than you realise. I know when you're a kid. Let me just show you first. I grabbed Donatello.
Holy shit, Donnie! And Raph was always my favorite. Because he said damn. Damn! Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Holy crap! Look at that. You know what? I might have one of those as well. I might just have one of those as well. That's it. That's amazing. That's an OG. That's an original, isn't it?
It has to be the dragon. I have got the Megazord as well, but he's up on the shelf above me, so
okay.
It'd be a bit more difficult to get down. But this one was just sitting within arm's reach. But you forget how heavy they are.
Yeah.
These are sturdy toys.
Oh yeah, heavy. Oh yeah, especially because those that's the OG plastic, right?
It is, yeah. It's plastic.
Yeah, I've got the die-cast one, and that's like you're like, holy shit, those are heavy. Yeah, you pick it up and there is weight. They are beefy. I'm gonna take a picture.
Cool. Take a picture. Thank you, Dee Dee. Yeah, we just like toys, and like I said earlier, now that you're an adult. You can actually rebuy or fill in the gaps of the toys that you didn't have, which is what I tend to do. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. I think I have got the Green Ranger that went with him as well, but I'd have to see if it's on the shelf. But yeah, love this thing, and of course, have to be the dragon one because I love dragons. Put him on the floor so I don't drop him.
I have got two pictures. Give me just a second. I'm going to share these in our Valhalla chat, and then I'm going to take them and actually copy them so I can show them to everyone. Here. Just 1 second.
But with Power Rangers the big thing for you, or was it more the draw of the Zoids that you liked?
The Zords. It was the Zords that pulled me in rather than the show. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I remember watching the original, but up until the film, with Ivan Ooze, that's kind of like, was like, had enough of this now.
For whatever reason, I am missing a sword on my Carvoltron. That's kind of weird. He may have been. He did fall at one point, and it went to pieces when I picked him up. So I may have missed putting that up. You will give me just a second. I'm pull both.
It's probably fallen under one of your desks, or it's fallen on the shelf or something. It can't have gone far. But yeah, all the little accessories. If you don't kind of have them with the toys, you tend to lose them. At least I did. So all the figures, like Donatello, I don't know where his staff is. I think he had some other weapon as well that went into like the belt that he wears, and I have no idea what that is. Skeletor, I do have his staff, but I don't know where it is.
Okay, so
Nice.
let's see if I can do this. We'll zoom in a little bit. We've got the Dragon Zord that you were just, but except that's the
That's the die cast.
That's die cast. It's got
Nice.
some plastic on some of the pieces, but the majority of it is die cast. The tail is the big difference. That tail, every link in that tail is adjustable.
Yeah, and this one, it's just one. Oh, take it off. Big piece that comes off.
Yeah, you can articulate every piece of that tail so that you can like move it around and turn it, and it's one of the differences. I love the OG. The OG is badass, and the hands. You can pull the hands off of mine and give it a more articulated. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but like the fingers are grooved out and different so that it looks more like, yeah. So I've got the white Tommy Ranger behind him, Lord Draken, and then the Green Ranger is behind the Voltron there. But that's the black and green Megazord.
That is cool. So that one I've never seen before.
That is a Comic-Con exclusive. So it's like, and that's die cast too, except for like the little pieces, like those tusks. Those tusks are plastic. The horns on the Triceratop are plastic. The tusks on the woolly mammoth are plastic. But the majority of the toy, the shoulders on the mammoth too, and on the Zord itself are plastic, but the majority is die cast.
These things must really weigh quite a bit.
And of course, you've got Voltron. He's like covered up. His face is covered up. That's an OG. Yeah, that's an original. And Optimus Prime, Megatron, Skyfire. There's a Ryu back there. There's some fighting toothpicks of Legolas right there in a stand. My friend Chris gave those to me for my birthday one year.
Nice.
Gremlin. Look at that. A gremlin poking his head out like, yeah.
Just peeking around.
Yeah. The car Voltron. Let me see if I can, let me zoom out and we'll go to the other. So there's the gremlin. There's the Ryu in the back.
That's cool. Is that a NECA gremlin?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes. And another Transformer. That is
Power Glide?
Power Glide. Yes, yeah. Power Glide. There's a Warpath in there somewhere too. I think he's right there. I think you can barely see him.
Yeah, I see him. Yeah, just by there he is.
He's right.
Were those classed as mini machines or micros or something? I know they had
I think they were just the small ones. No, those aren't the minis. No, because Bumblebee was small like that too. It's just you had the small ones and then you had the big ones. You know, there's a Godzilla with the Peacekeeper Pulse Rifle. Thank you, or Peacekeeper Pulse Pistol. Thank you, Robert Pearson, for the Peacekeeper Pulse Pistol. There's a Doom guy. If you look in the back, there's a Doom guy, that annoying damn Marauder with the ass, son of a bitch. There's a Mothra.
Cool.
There's Mothra, and there's a part of a Predator.
Let's see Predator's butt.
Yeah, Predator butt and Predator foot. So, but yeah, and a Deathstroke mask and some other stuff.
That is a cool collection.
Oh, and if you look up in the very top corner, that is a Buddy Christ from Dogma. The Buddy Christ. Now, you know, we've gone and upgraded Jesus because he was very lonely and he was very unhappy. So we have, transformed him into the Buddy Christ. Of course, that was like the funniest part of Dogma. But and some Star Wars books and some Diablo shit and all kinds of stuff you don't want to know about.
I love that Batman sign as well. That's really cool.
Thank you. I had that for forever put up, and I just never had a place for it. There's an Enterprise plaque too. Star Trek Enterprise, all the way in the corner. NCC 1701D, Stardate 40759.5. So
very
just
cool.
Whatever I can fit on that shelf.
Looks like you've run out of space now.
Yeah, I've got to get a new shelf now. Again, I was like, I'll have all the shelving space I ever could want or need. Yeah, that didn't last. So, yeah.
Oh, we had some cool toys. And still getting cool toys, there's still stuff being released that I've seen. And they're re-releasing old retro stuff as well, which is even better.
Oh man, you see the retro stuff, the He-Man and the Transformers and the G.I. Joe and
Thundercats. When the kind of anime version of Thundercats came out, there's some fantastic figures for those.
I bet you get a ton of chicks with that place. Oh yeah, I thought that was Jetfire. He is known as Jetfire and Skyfire. They never could decide what they really wanted to name him, Jetfire or Skyfire. Skyfire was what they originally called him, but his name was supposed to be Jetfire. So later they changed it to Jetfire, and then later again they call him Skyfire because they never could get it right. And I never had Silverhawks. I always wanted some. I thought those were cool, but I never got any Silverhawks.
And then some Ricky brings up muscles. I remember those little they were all pink little guys, and they were also about the same sizes. I don't know if you had them. Monster in My Pocket. They were like neon coloured, tiny plastic toys of various monsters.
No, I don't remember those.
I love those. If I can find the ones I've got, I'll take a picture and I'll put it in Valhalla. These things are cool.
I remember. Do you remember Ooze?
Yes.
Oh man, that was like something. That was, and after a while, it stank. It was like, yeah, it's because it's been on all your toys, and yeah. No.
Ew.
No.
But
anyway,
I like those sort of things.
Anyway, guys, this is so cool. Jetfire versus Skyfire was rights issues between the cartoon and Japan. It is convoluted. Rodimus Prime does a great video on it. Really, I will have to check it out. I will have to check it out. I never understood why they went back and forth like that. I know the toy was a Gundam. Mm-hmm. The toy was a Gundam, right? Or was it a Gundam, or was it a the other one? Anyway, I know that the toy was, because the toy was right out of that, and they just put a different paint job on it, threw an Autobot sticker on it, and was like, screw it. And it wasn't made by the people who made Transformers. That's why I was like the odd man out. It transformed differently. That's because it was like, that's not even from Diaclone. That's from another show. Mm-hmm. So
you weren't a fan of Beast Wars, were you?
Robotech.
Robotech. I remember that.
That's what it was. It was Robotech.
Robotech. Cool.
You were saying Beast Wars?
Beast Wars, yeah. Were you ever a fan of the Beast Wars, or was it strictly like G1?
Oh no! I loved the show. I hated the toys because it was like, back in the day, you had to do like 100 different things to transform some of this shit. And if you messed up, you could literally break your toy. I remember so many people had broken Megatrons because they broke the leg when they were transforming it. It was always the leg. They couldn't get the leg moved around right, and they ended up breaking it. But
Megatron over there.
but the Beast, the Beast Wars were like, you know, you like, I remember Optimus Primal. It was like you moved the legs, twisted the body, pulled out the arms, moved the head up, and bam, it was done. And it was like, damn, it's like 4 moves and you've transformed that gorilla into Optimus Prime. That's not cool.
Yeah, this thing was ridiculously hard to transform, which is why he never gets transformed. He stays in T-Rex mode always. And this one was kind of weird because he used to squirt water if you fill up the throat part.
Oh, that's weird.
That's really weird. And then the legs kind of fold out and they shoot missiles.
Huh.
And his chest opens up for some reason. Never understood why. He's got like a little flap on his chest.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. So if you had to pick before we get out of here, if you had to pick a certain toy line,
yes,
what would it be?
Probably it would be Masters of the Universe, because that's the one that I remember having the most. It's the one I remember having the most fun with. It's the one that I kind of kept going back to every time. And then, like you were saying, mixing it with other toy lines when you were playing it. It kind of, when Jurassic Park came out, we mixed in the dinosaurs with it. And it was just something that really caught my imagination when I was little. And I love She-Ra as well. He-Man, She-Ra, both, I think, were really great cartoons. And I know people say they were just to sell the toys, and the story in the cartoon came about from the toys, but they still works it really well.
Mine would probably be G.I. Joe. I played with so many G.I. Joe stuff. I was like, you know, that was like, if you wanted to combine your G.I. Joe stuff with any other kid on the block, it was like take them over to Loki's, and because I had everything. It was like everything G.I. Joe. There was, you know, do you have a red Baroness? Yes, I've got the red Baroness. Do you have a black Baroness? Yes, I have a black Baroness. Everything, every toy that came out, everything that came out for G.I. Joe. It was like, yeah. And speak of the dead, I didn't think purple could get any hotter, but I was wrong. She has a T-Rex transformer.
I have Waspinator as well, but he's in pieces at the moment. Like you say, the legs fall off really easily, and they've got like a ball joint, and I cannot get his legs back on. So, or Waspinator.
Waspinator. Oh man, those voices and that cast doing what they did was absolutely epic. Absolutely epic. So, Ginger Ninja said, "Love my G.I. Joe's, Transformers, and Voltron." Yes, Ginger Ninja. If you go back maybe 10 minutes in this episode, I showed off my old OG Voltron.
That is cool.
And Mags, thank you. Mags says, "This has been a great show, Loki, walking down memory lane." I love getting to do shows like this. I love ending the week on a high note. You know, as much as we rant and rave about all kinds of different things, I always love to end the week on a high note. So thank you all so very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Purple Valkyrie, for sharing everything that you've got there in your collection. And
you're welcome. Thank you.
We didn't even get into your Legacy of Kain.
Yes, collection. That's true. We might have to do a part 2 of more modern toys down the line.
Yes.
This was all 80s.
Yeah, this was all 80s and OG stuff. And yeah, definitely. I would love to do that. So guys, everyone take care. Have a great weekend. We will see you back on Monday. I'm going to be traveling, so I will be on walkabout all weekend, and I will be back Tuesday. So 2 shows on the road. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I will figure it out. Everyone have a great day and have a great weekend, and we will catch you all later.
Bye.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.